Hey everybody, I'm Evan Hammonds for bloodhorse.com and welcome to After the Wire, which is brought to you by EquiAid, the makers of Bodybuilder, Air Blast, and other fine natural products. We are less than 2 weeks away from Breeders Cup 30, and it's time to step back from After the Wire to discuss some World Championship racing before they enter the gate. In this segment, we'll look at the Friday races, with an emphasis on the Distaff, which figures to bring together a holy trinity of the 5-year-old Royal Delta, two-time champion and winner of this race the last 2 years, Princess of Sylmar, the 3-year-old filly who has been unbeatable since winning the Kentucky Oaks, and Beholder, the swift sophomore who will be taking it to these two on her home track at Santa Anita Park. We last saw Royal Delta getting passed in the lane by Princess of Sylmar in the Beldame at Belmont on September 29th at the distaff distance of 9 furlongs. After Royal Delta had put in some pretty good fractions while pressing the pace scenario. A half in 46 and 3 and 6 furlongs in 110 and 2 may have taken some of the starch out of the champ as she offered little resistance as Princess of Sylmar rolled past for a 2-length win. The final 3/8 of that one was run in 36 and 2, with the Princess throwing down about a 36 flat final 3 furlongs. That, my friends, is racehorse time. Now, how will both of them convert to Santa Anita and catching the Swift Beholder? Let's take a look. Now, Beholder is deadly at 1.16 miles, as witnessed in last year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, before the Kentucky Oaks, and in her last start, the Zenyatta Stakes, also on September 28th at Santa Anita. Trainer Richard Mandella has had about 6 months to get Beholder to last those additional 110 yards from 1.16 miles to 1.1 miles, a distance that was about 50 yards too long for her in the Oaks at Churchill Downs. Given plenty of time and returning much more mature, she buzzed through the 1 mile Torrey Pine Stakes at Del Mar, then showed us what she had in the Zenyatta. Able to control the pace, she got a half in 47 and 1 under Gary Stevens, and 6 furlongs in an easy 111 and 1. But from there, get this, she closed her final 5/16 in 30 and 4. That was nearly 2 seconds faster than she did over the speed bias track at Santa Anita at last year's Breeders' Cup, and Stevens was barely moved on her. The distaff will come down to a game of cat and mouse. Beholder will go to the front, and it will be up to Mike Smith on Royal Delta whether to press or stalk, knowing he'll have to be watching over his right shoulder for Princess of Sylmar. Now, if he waits, Beholder could be gone. If he presses, he may have another Beldame outcome. The rule of thumb in racing says you always favor the older horse this time of year against 3-year-olds. However, I'm not betting against Mandella having Beholder ready to get the trip. I say the hometown gal will be crowned the homecoming queen November 1st as the third choice in the betting. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf will bring together horses from the east to west and also from Europe. The early favorite is Ken and Sarah Ramsey's Bobby's Kitten, and I'll show you why. In the October 6th Pilgrim Stakes at Belmont Park, Bobby's Kitten separated himself from a pretty good field pretty quickly from the top of the stretch to the 8th pole with a powerful 23 and 4 quarter from the 6 furlongs to the mile marker. His final 5/16 were in a sharp 30 flat, and this was after breaking his maiden, where he closed at a sub 29 final split. Now, 2-year-olds just don't do that kind of thing, but Kitten's joys 2-year-olds do on the turf and poly. With the kind of year Ken Ramsey and Ramsey Farm is having, I don't anticipate them leaving Southern California empty-handed. Come back next week, and we'll find a few gems from Saturday's Breeders' Cup card. For bloodhorse.com, I'm Evan Hammonds. I'd like to thank you for watching After the Wire.